Hey guys, I know I've already done a video like this, but this one's going to be a very special video because I learned something new that I can do with my editing software that I don't know why I didn't figure this out before. But during this video, you're going to see a lot more new things. So, check it out and see if it's good enough, or, whatever. God of War 3, the demo. I just played the demo, and I have done something a little bit different. I don't have a capture card or a dazzle, but I'm just giving a second little review on it. It's the same exact thing as the one before, but it's a little bit of stuff added, as you will see coming up in a few seconds. Alright, now, first of all, when you start off in the demo, you see these zombies, slicing up people, and they're trying to kill you. Then you start killing them, and then, well, of course, the whole premise of God of War 2 was to get to the top of Olympus, Mount Olympus, in order to, if you play the game, you already know. So, in the whole course of God of War 3, the demo, I just said, holy shit, this demo is amazing. The whole graphics of the game are fan-fucking-tastic. Now, what I don't understand about it is, like, the whole story. I don't know how that will work out, because at the end of the demo, which you'll see at the end of this video, you'll, see a little bit of a scene. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go with the whole God of War 2 thing, what happened at the end of it. But I'll figure that out later. So, in the whole God of War 3 demo, there's a lot of blood and carnage, and, of course, people's skulls getting ripped off, and people's eyes getting ripped out of their sockets. So, in all of this, you think, is this game really good enough to buy? Fuck yes. And because I reserved it for $5, I am not promised the God of War, skin. If you've seen the commercial, which I'm not going to show you, then you saw the skin, and it's pretty badass. Makes you more powerful. But in this whole demo, oh my god, it's just fucking fantastic. The blood, carnage, the gore of it all makes it more enjoyable. I mean, and they added a couple more things. He has his bow and arrow like he does before in the other games, but it looks different. It's just, it doesn't look like the same bow and arrow that he was using before. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't look the same. And he can also, take control of the birds in the sky in order to, fly over gaps or, whatever. But, you might ask yourself, why doesn't he need birds to fly over gaps when he has wings himself? And he can pretty much fly. No, he cannot. He can just, like, glide, but he can't fly. So, yeah, he uses his bow and arrow, then he just uses his Blades of Chaos, and just fucking moves, And then you get to the battle with, like, the Minotaur. No. Is that a Minotaur? Nah, that's not a Minotaur. What do you call those things? Half man, half horse. I don't know what the hell you call those things, but, it's, this giant thing, and you gotta battle it, and of course it's gonna stab you with its long-ass rod, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, a spear, and, you're getting bombarded by all these zombies, all these Spartan, or, I don't know what you call them, but they're zombies, of course, I know that. And, that's pretty awesome. And the best part about this demo is battling with, what do you call that thing? Oh, fuck, I forgot what you call it. But it's that thing that you see on your screen, of course. But, that thing is fucking fantastic. You can, if they have more scenes with that thing, I don't think they will. I think that's the only battle that you'll have with it. But if they do, I really would enjoy that, because you get to, it's like battling 3 enemies, at once. You get to battle the snake first, and then rip its fucking tail off and shit. You get to battle the lion first, and, get to rip his head out, and then you battle the goat, and then you take his horn off and stick it in his brain. And then in the background you see, the giant molten titan. I don't know what you would call him, but he's battling Helios. He totally smacks the shit out of him into this giant rock, and Helios is pretty much a dead man. But he is a god, so, you know, how can you have God of War and the whole God of War 3 thing without Kratos killing some gods, right? Exactly. So, you know, you have Kratos doing this shit, and he just grabs an enemy and, you know, totally fucking, I don't know what you call it, but he just tackles with that enemy all the way through these other enemies. And, you know, that's awesome. I love that. Then you have him like walking through shit, doing stuff. Then you have him like walking up some stuff, you know, like climbing up and doing stuff like that. But who cares about that? Let's move on. You have him going into the whole battle, where it's just like, you know, these zombies with these giant shields say, you know what, we're gonna protect Helios because we don't want you getting to his powers and shit. You know what Kratos just says? He says, fuck you. He takes out his giant cestus gauntlets and then beats the shit out of all of them. And then, you know, comes a giant Cyclops. Of course, you know, you got the gauntlets, you know, the cestus gauntlets, and you're saying, oh, well, there's a Cyclops right there. What the fuck are you gonna do? Beat the shit out of him? So you start beating on him and beating on him. Then you just get on him, ride him, and then you start smacking the shit out of your enemy zombies. And then after that, you know, you're just saying, oh, I'm getting bored with this. So you just hop off his back and then rip his eye out and keep it in your pocket. Well, what you do with it is none of my business, but, you know, just do whatever you want. Then you get to Helios. You go through a scene where Kratos is just fucking ripping his head right out of his butt. Yeah, there we go. Then you go and try to find a door. That door, you know, no big deal, right? You just use his head and uncover it. Yeah. Then you open it and you're going through this dark cave. You're saying, I don't know why he's going to attack me. Use his head as a fucking light, and then you see enemies, and then they start to get blinded. Ah, the light, it burns! But I don't really give a shit. You know, so you're just beating the hell out of them. Takes you a little bit of time, but I don't care. And after that, you go through and you find a giant shaft where there's a chain and air blowing up. And of course you think, hey, I gotta get to the top of that. You think I'm gonna climb the chain? Fuck no. You just jump into there and then you start flying up like a fucking awesome bird, you know, flying free and shit. Then, you know, you gotta dodge some shit. Of course, you might get hit once or twice by some falling objects, or maybe you're just a bad flyer, so you just, you know, smack yourself into some shit. But, you know, it's cool. It's cool, you know. It's cool. So, once you get out of that scene, where you're pretty much done the demo, you go into the last scene, where Kratos reaches the top, and of course you have the molten Magma Titan, not Magna, but yeah, you see him there, you know, you're just like, oh, Kratos, he's gonna like jump on his back and, you know, ride him up to the top, right? No, he goes, fuck you, and then just, and then it says God of War 3, March 2010, and that's the end of the God of War 3 demo. So, if you do not like this demo description or watching the demo, and if you think that I'm actually doing something a good deed for you guys to actually have a visual for you instead of me just talking about it, well, you know, just know this. I have learned the method of PIP, or, you know, picture-in-picture. So, picture-in-picture, I'm going to be using that in my videos, and that's pretty much it. So, if you have any questions or comments on my video saying, oh, dude, I like the picture-in-picture thing, yeah, I think it's a really good thing. I'm trying to get this video uploaded before March 16th, which is, oh, that's no problem. I'll get it uploaded by then. Maybe. No, I'm kidding. I'll get uploaded. But, you know, this is Naruto Gandhi saying I'm changing things all the time, trying to make it better. And, you know, that's all. So, stay gold.